I'm Tom.
And I'm Cherie.
And we sold everything for a life of freedom and full-time travel.
Follow our journey for tips, and we also share our mistakes.
And we make plenty of them.
Yes, we do.
Tom dropped the RV on our truck. Now we can't disconnect the RV from the truck. What did we do wrong? You can find the first video by clicking the link above or in the video description. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video.
Look at this right here. It's that pin right there is not coming out. So, I mean, maybe the hitch is faulty. I've tugged on that. I've hit it with a hammer, but it is not doing anything. And it just seems like there's something I'm missing that would work. Maybe it needs some kind of major lubricant or something in there. I had a big boo-boo. I ended up dropping it on my truck. That thing was out a lot farther, but I don't remember. I didn't check this if it was in all the way, and I hadn't done that extra step. So
it was loose. That rolls around. It's a half circle. When it opens, that twists around, and it's got a U-shape cut in it.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't until you pull out. It don't roll out.
So just give it gas, huh? It just built. It feels like something's caught. Yeah, you just don't want to wreck a jack or something. Yeah. Try the WD. All right, so maybe back up and then forward again, or?
Let's do that. Let's clip it in and then we'll...
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Whoa.
That's it. You got her.
Wow.
Let's pull ahead and we're going to take that ring off and back in and out one time.
Okay.
That's good. Hang on. All right. Back in there now. Where'd Cherie go? She run off when this thing's go to bed, or?
She's going to get some food. Yeah. Okay.
Let's try that. So.
Try hooking up without that.
Yeah, that is pretty thick. Okay, I got it ready to go.
Okay.
That's it. She's in. She's latched.
Okay.
Okay. Come on, latch her and pull her out.
Pull her forward, huh? Just like that, huh? Wow. Wow. So I think I'm doing a favor and end up causing a big problem.
Try to have extra slip, and you don't need it now because it took the clearance out of it.
Wow.
Hey, you got to move the other one now today too? Or?
Yeah, I gotta bring it over.
I'll go over and help you hook up.
But okay, cool. I'm gonna get so much crap for making this mistake.
There are only two guys. The guys that have done it and the guys who are going to do it.
Yeah. So all down to just what? Too much slick disc, whatever.
Super slide. Yes.
Yeah.
Too thick, pick up all clearance.
Yeah, that right there. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna have extra slickness, and no, I'm gonna have lots of problems. And trash the bed of the truck.
Well, you're lucky because it's got the plastic fenders on it. That one's got the metal ones that made a change.
Oh, okay. And you know what? I was like, well, I can't look here, but there's like nothing. It didn't do anything to right, the momentum. It's like, what do they make that out of? It crushes this.
The main frame must be right underneath there.
Yeah, and it's like maybe a little scratch that could be buffed out or something. It's like blown away, but well, hey, I won't keep you, Mark. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Well, we had that lesson.
Yeah. All right. Well, take care. Hopefully I won't have to call you anymore. The mark right here from when the momentum landed on the truck. So I thought, well, I wonder if that will come off. We got the magic eraser here. Just gonna give that a shot here and see if this works on it. And look at that. Every bit of it is coming off. Not even a scratch is left. Look at that. It's one tough RV. So let's actually get to the learning of the video here. And thank you so much for the nearly 2,000 comments on the past 2 videos.
Right, everyone was so encouraging and so supportive and so helpful. We really appreciate it.
Yes, the RV living community is such a great community because people like to help you if they think you need help, and clearly we needed some help in this situation.
Clearly.
And we really, really appreciate all of your comments.
Right, we don't claim to be experts, and we just want to share with you our challenges so you can learn from them as well.
And this video now becomes a resource for you and others to look at this so they don't make such a costly mistake.
Yes, it's stressful. So, where do you think things started going wrong?
Oh, where to start?
I know, there's so much.
Well, I was really tired from all of the moving. I mean, we had received the RV from Mark like a week earlier and had been moving, and then all this time had gone by since he showed me how to use that hitch.
Right. And then we were rushed, really trying to get out of that spot because we're on a time schedule, so we were kind of rushed, and it was the perfect storm.
Right. So number one, don't do something when you're really tired.
Right.
You want to be well rested when you're doing big moves.
Lesson learned.
Right. And don't be rushed.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, the third thing we should get into is the fact that it was a completely different hitch to me.
Right. Well, you've been doing this for over 5 years.
Right.
Moving every 2 to 4, 6 weeks. And you've hitched and unhitched hundreds of times. Never a problem.
Yes.
Never a problem.
And that was with my old 5th wheel hitch that operated differently.
Right.
It didn't require that extra snap in like this one did. So because I'm not a hitch expert, I just assumed this one worked the same way, not remembering what I had been told earlier. So that was a big mistake. So I'd say number 3 is you really need to know your equipment, and that was huge.
So that was the 3rd mistake. What do you think the 4th mistake was?
4th mistake, like a lot of you have said, is tug test. You got to do a tug test. And I know what a tug test is. I've done them before.
It's on our check-off sheet.
Yes.
Or checklist that we give everyone else. It's
Right.
just you haven't been in the habit of doing it because you had it down to a science on your old hitch.
Right. The old hitch never failed, and you shouldn't assume, which I know some of you were honest and said that you assume as well. But I think the learning lesson for everyone here is not to assume, no matter how many times you've used your hitch, that you always need to do a tug test. And if you want our checklist, you can sign up for our email list.
Yeah.
And we will be updating that as well with all of the new things.
The new things. Because this RV is very different. And
Right.
the hitch is very different. So there's been a huge learning curve with both new RV, new hitch.
And all of this explaining is not about making excuses at all. It was 100% my responsibility for everything that happened. But just kind of going through this process for you, again, so everybody that watches this video can learn something.
Oh yeah, there was another mistake.
Just like we just
and it was a big one.
Figured out in this video right here, that as part of knowing your equipment, that white disc, that extra disc, that was really a culprit here, because yeah, it's like 10-20 bucks for that disc, but wow, was that a costly mistake, and doubling up on that much
of a difference in height can cause disastrous results.
Right. So I don't know that I high pinned it necessarily on the first time. I may not have just locked it into position, and so we can go either way on that. But either way, it was the wrong thing to have on there.
Yeah. But you did use that on our previous hitch and RV, and it worked beautifully.
Yes, most hitches do require that because they don't have that built-in slick disc pad there. So
lesson learned.
Yeah, totally. So right now I'm going to demonstrate what I've learned from all the great comments we got on the previous videos. As you can see, I've got a slide out right now. That's not the proper way. I'm only going to show you hooking up the hitch just for demonstration purposes. So ignore the slides. Just like new. So just like that, it's like magic. It's all been repaired. Now actually some time has gone by. Nice insurance deductible later. Valuable lesson learned, but the truck looks great. So a couple of you pointed out in the other videos that I was not chalked up when I did a safety tug, and that would be a more correct way of doing it. But chocks are one way of just leaving them when you do the tug. That way you make sure your hitch is fully engaged. So if you have one of these Lippert auto leveling systems on your RV, they're on some of the newer RVs. This is what you do. You take the up and the down, it's already on the green, but to wake up the system, you just hit those two buttons together at the same time, and you hit hitch height. And so what that will do is it'll go back to the level that you first parked your RV at. And sometimes you still have to adjust from there, but it also retracts the back stabilizers, so you're ready to go ahead and hitch up. So you can see with that hitting the hitch height that it still did not put the kingpin here at the right level. It's way too high, so I've got to lower that. So I'm going to bring the RV down, and like many people commented on the other videos that it's almost impossible to high pin it if you've got your kingpin low enough, and so your hitch kind of tucks up underneath. I think maybe down by ½ an inch or an inch, which I believe is what I did before, but I'm going to bring it down some more here, and let's check it out over here now. I think that looks pretty good for backing in and having the hitch slide up right underneath. So as you may have noticed, that was a much easier hitch up than before in the other videos. So the first mistake was to add that white disc because we already have the disc on this thing, or the pad, or whatever that's called, on the Husky hitch. Not many hitches have those, and the hitch I had before did not have it, so I was used to using the white disc. Second mistake was to not take this and lock that in like that, which my other hitch wasn't required. Different hitch to me, even though it's not new, but it's new to me. It requires that. So this hitch has a removable handle, so you pull the pin like that, and then that comes off. Now normally this would drop into there, and this would clip around it. This little piece right here is actually broke. So what I'm doing, I believe, is even safer, given that I still have this hitch right now, is I take the safety brake right here, and I got a regular trailer pin, and I do that. I've got another pin that I put down, so it's actually got 2 pins in there. So just like that. So double safety on that. Then I take this chain with the little lock right here, and I will lock that to the safety brake. So I know this doesn't look right. I'm sure some guys will say, what are you doing? But like we said, I think it's time to look for a new hitch. A lot of you have commented on that, and so we are shopping. And if you have a favorite hitch, make sure you leave it in the comments, or whichever one you think we should switch to, and we will look at getting this replaced. But for the moment, it's what we have, and so this right here, I believe, is a safe solution given what we have at the moment. So then this pin and this arm, I just put inside the truck. So another mistake was relying totally on the white pin sticking out over here, and indicates that the hitch is in the locked position, but you still want to do a safety tug. So we had a number of comments about visually inspecting the jaws, that locking arm that locks around the kingpin, and you can see it right there, how it fully comes across there. So a nice visual inspection that it is in fact engaged. So the next step is to plug in the electrical cable. So again, the system went to sleep, so we're going to press the up and down together to wake it up. The green light is on, and at this point I could hit retract all, but I actually prefer doing the manual down button here, and we are going to lower the front jacks. So you might be wondering why I retracted both of the legs, because they do come up individually. The reason is because they don't all come up or go down at the same time. I've got to start the process over, like I'm putting the jacks down, and right till the second jack gets about an inch off the ground, I stop and then go up, and it raises the other jack up, so you get both legs up by about a half an inch or an inch off the ground. Now we're going to lower the jacks, and then the left jack will deploy now, but I will stop when that gets almost to the ground. So right there. So now we'll go ahead and raise the other one, because it will do the opposite leg, the right leg, right now. That little process right there is the only way I know of doing this. If you know of another way of getting both of the jacks just a little bit off the ground so you can do the proper safety tug, go ahead and let us know in the comments. So now it's time for that tug test. I'll put my foot on the brake first, then release the parking brake. And if you look over here at the brake control, these look different depending on what you have. You will see some kind of handle right here that you can manually engage the brake. So even though I am still chalked up, do the brakes on full like that. So I got brakes on full. I'm going ahead and put the truck in drive and give a little tug. So that is my new preferred way of doing a safety tug. Now there are other ways of doing it. If you have one, a more preferred way or a way you think is safer, go ahead and leave it in the comments. So we got a lot of comments on saying this was not a great hitch. We actually had somebody else said they had the same thing happen to them with this hitch. I think this hitch is okay for a used hitch. I don't think it's suitable for us. We're gonna upgrade, but I don't think it was necessarily the hitch's fault. I made some mistakes in the whole thing that would have prevented that, and I think this will be a fine hitch maybe for someone that's not full-time like we are, just maybe going out a couple times a year or whatever. But we definitely want the latest, greatest, and safest hitch that is out there. For bonus content, you can hit the join button down below.
And thanks for subscribing and ringing that bell.
And for more of our RV living tips and adventures, you can click right up here.